What up, Suns fans? Suns lose 2 in a row, this time to the Memphis Grizzlies, who are on the road visiting Phoenix for this New Year's Eve game. Final score, Memphis Grizzlies 117, Suns 112. Now, this is a pretty bad way to end the new year for all of us here in Phoenix, and I really hope, if you're diehard Suns fans, this game sucked. But hopefully, we can all leave this behind us going into the new year. It is New Year's Day. I am kitted up with my New Year's gear. Did a little bit of decorating for this day, but this one's I'm gonna try to keep this one short for the sake of us Suns fans, so we don't have to relive this. And also, just it's New Year's. Go enjoy New Year's. All right, whether that's getting some early nice sleep or that's spending it with somebody tonight. Let's get into this. Now, the Suns lose a frustrating game to the Memphis Grizzlies. First of all, it should be stated that this is our first game with the big three back. That big three being Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant. Devin Booker has been sidelined for the last 3 games with groin strain, but we have him back. That being said, we now do not have the big three anymore, as Bradley Beal went out. It was either first quarter or second quarter. He went out with a hip contusion. Now, you're seeing a pretty toned down part of me where I hate this. It really sucks that the Suns just can't get their big three consistently together. This is like one of the worst history of luck I've seen. I know it was a big thing when Bill came here that he's injury prone. But like, God, give the man a break, man. I'm saying that to just whoever affects injuries out there. Just give the man a break, dude. The guy just wants the ball and he goes out there just hoping not to get injured, and he still gets injured. That's all to say that Bradley Beal will be missing the next couple of games. Hopefully he'll have a nice recovery. But what a way to start this game, huh? Also, sorry if you guys hear any background noise. Fireworks are currently going off where I am right now. But Bradley Beal is out. 12 minutes he played, and those were pretty awful 12 minutes. I've stated it multiple times that the starting lineup for this Phoenix Suns team is just really not that good, and it needs to see some change relatively soon for both Bill's sake and everyone else's sake as a whole team, as I really just think that it just works way better with Bradley Beal being on the bench. But, he'll be facing a lot less of the tougher opponents. He'll be facing more bench opponents. I said this a lot last time, so I won't go much too into it here. So Bradley Beal, heal up, man. Just unlucky. And I've been saying it a lot that the starting lineup has been bad, but just to reiterate it here, we literally had a direct contrast that we don't get that much during these games, as since Bradley Beal was still being able to play the first quarter, we got to see how that starting lineup looks, which was pretty bad. Suns got blasted that first quarter. Again, it's a real problem with this team that they're just not that aggressive. I already knew coming into this game, Jared Jackson Jr. would be such a huge problem for the Suns, as we all know the center rotation isn't the greatest in the league. He dropped 38 points on us, and it was an absolute monster that first half. Suns really couldn't find a answer for him, but they did later on, but to limited success. But getting back to my point here, Suns couldn't find anything working that first quarter, but we did leave with some great takeaways that would contribute to much better quarters later on. But that third quarter is really interesting because Beal, he was already listed as out, as then we put in Ryan Dunn. Now that lineup looked really good. Say what you want, dude. That lineup was really good. Tyus, Book, Ryan Dunn, KD, and Plumlee, who was out there, and they were able to lead the charge for such a strong third quarter. And it really makes you wonder, again, why we still have the starting lineup problems. But that third quarter could have also been a combination of things, as we figured out a lot of things from that first quarter. As Jared Jackson Jr., Ryan Dunn was doing a pretty good job of silencing him for that first half. So that just immediately contributed to the third quarter, starting that lineup, because we got so much more defensive players out there. The Suns are way more longer and are able to play way better defense, and their offense even ticked up. Front office, please look at the numbers, man. Team can't keep going on like this with Beal starting. It's obvious. It's written on the wall that quite simply, Beal needs to come off the bench. It works better for everyone. Until then, we're still suffering with this. So we got an answer for Jared Jackson Jr., which Ryan Dunn was doing a pretty good job of holding on to him. They started playing with better effort. Of course, Josh Okogie and Ryan Dunn both who have been really great bursts of energies for the Suns these last couple of games, continue to do that tonight. Josh Okogie going out there with 9 points, and Ryan Dunn had 8 points. So both of them have been really good. And Ryan Dunn, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Pretty much filled that stat sheet up. It's just another reason to why you should probably start. But yeah, the Suns just continued to have their issue with consistent effort and being aggressive overall tonight. And honestly, it became a repeating story that was just really frustrating this whole game. I haven't been frustrated about a Phoenix Suns game in quite a while, and this game did it for me. Just the fact that the Suns were able to, were able to string in the second half a lot of good defensive plays, almost taking the lead at certain points. But then either Jared Jackson Jr. or Desmond Bane would hit a crucial three and build the lead back up. And that is pretty much the story for the second half of this game. As the Suns played really great that second half, it's frustrating that the Suns were never able to get over that hump, as the Grizzlies just continued to be a better shooter tonight. They continued to be the better rebounder, and they continued to play that hustling, more energetic team all around, just offense, defense, that kind of thing. And that's inevitably what sealed the deal for the Suns. So KD still really good, 29 points, did the best he can. I feel like we should have led with KD a lot more, tried feeding him a lot more, because clearly out of the big three, he was the one with the hotter hand here, as Devin Booker, who came back in his first game back, 16 points and 4 of 20 from the field. Yeah, that's defense for you. Bradley Beal, we already talked about Bradley Beal. He had 3 points. Tyus Jones also put up a pretty good game, 21 points, really helping to fill in the space Bradley Beal needed, although he had some crucial, terrible turnovers. He had 5 turnovers. That's a game high, 5 turnovers. And then Mason Plumlee had 12 points. He had a pretty cold first half, but he did bring it back in the second half. And then also our bench tried stepping up. I mean, I already talked about Ryan Dunn, Josh Okogie, always great to have on the team. Monte Morris had a surprisingly good half. I wasn't expecting much from Monte Morris, but he definitely surprised me tonight, putting up 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Very much needed for this team. I'm glad he did. But just once again, this team's ability to turn over things at the most crucial time sucks, as it's becoming increasingly obvious that defense is going to win the battle here. So what's the saying of like defense wins championships or something? Yeah, it's becoming more and more prevalent in each game as we go on here, as the Suns just continue to get stomped. And the Suns had a lot of opportunities for fast breaks that would have been crucial in taking the lead. The Suns never led this game, and they made sure you knew that. If you watch the Suns broadcast, they made sure you knew that. It's just only adding to frustration to me personally that the Suns were never able to get over that hump. So yeah, that's about your game, and it's just another frustrating one to go into the bag, especially during a very much weakened Memphis Grizzlies team. Listen, I don't want to try to be a doomer here. I've tried to keep things relatively positive on this channel. I've never really believed in the idea of giving up on this big three just yet, because I still think the big three can work. We've seen this big three be able to do some crazy things. I just really think it's the circumstances that prevent this big three from being truly dominant and working really well as a team. That's really my take on the big three, and if you talk to most other Suns fans, they probably advocate for the trading of one of the big three to save this team, or aka blow it all up. I still think you can get the job done with the big three here. But as the season goes on, I can't help but look at the dark pit that stands before me. Just look at the darkness that threatens to consume this team. The line that's basically between continuing with this team and blowing up the team. I still think it could happen, but the Suns will have to make huge changes for that to happen. And so far, they haven't looked like they are willing to make those changes. Whether or not Mike Budd, our head coach, will actually bench Beal, who knows? Will a trade save this team? Yeah, I've talked many times about a trade being a very essential part if this team wants to continue. But I mean, also, I got to be honest, I'm not that much of a trade guru, as you could say. I'm not really throwing my hat into the trading machine pen, so I can really speak limited on what the Suns could trade for. But everything I've looked around social media, from the worst trades to the best trades for the Suns, all those seem really unlikely. And it's just really propelling this idea that the Suns might be in a bad position here. As much as good moves as the Suns have made over these last 3 years to just continue this big three, Yusuf Nurkic, can we really trade the guy? I mean, I can't imagine any team looking at what he does for this team and be willing to take him at a loss, more to say. If we somehow do, it's gonna cost like all of our picks. The Suns have a limited amount of picks. I believe a first round and 2 second rounds, I believe. That's not much to work with. The more you go on, it's looking really unlikely. So it's just games like this that kind of leaves you down as a Suns fan, thinking where it all went wrong. Suns can still definitely improve, but it's up to them to see if they can make that improvement. As Suns fans, we just have to kind of watch this, whether it's for the best or for the worst, where the Suns team is heading. But as of right now, where I believe the Suns team is going, looking forward into 2025, they aren't winning a championship. Oh God, no. These guys are nowhere near close. Would we even make the play-ins is a question of itself, and that could be reaching literally a trade, and so many changes need to happen. And honestly, I'm frankly tired of seeing all these post-game interviews from the Suns team. It's like, oh yeah, well, you just gotta take self-accountability, and we all gotta take a look at ourselves at the end of the day and see what we want to improve. Yeah, right. It's pretty hard being an NBA player, I bet. But have we seen much change? No. So it's still a developing process on where we go. I'm not advocating for blowing up this team, but boy, does the option look pretty good from where we are right now. Currently 15-17 on the season. We're now, one game deep into elimination category. Still behind the Golden State Warriors. We have lost 3 straight, with an upcoming game in Indiana, which will kick off a short little road trip. That will be our first game of the new year, January 4th, followed shortly by Philadelphia and Charlotte. So I mean, the Suns have an easy schedule coming up here in January. There's still opportunities where if the Suns don't take themselves seriously here, they could still lose. February is creeping up. This team needs big changes, and I'm curious where that's going to be. I think I've said it in the way that I think illustrates it. Like, the Suns need a miracle right now, and if you don't know, miracles are pretty hard to come by. We'll see, miracle or not. We'll see where the Suns end up in 2025. So this is the typical Suns fan experience. This is what being a Suns fan is in 2024 is like. Hopefully it will be the last time I could say that, being in 2024. But I mean, that's me being optimistic. Yeah. Have a happy New Year's. I'm going to end it here. Just enjoy time with your family. If the Suns game is like all you have, then sorry, man. That kind of sucks. That's rough, dude. I've been really needing to harp on this for the last couple of Suns games because it's so depressing being a Suns fan. I don't really want to leave the show on a bad note, especially when we're going into the new year, where opportunity is always a awesome chance to improve. So don't let the Suns ruin your New Year's Eve. Please go enjoy it. Whether that's just getting some extra sleep tonight or that's just celebrating the new year. All right. Yeah, that's it from me, guys. I will see you here in the new year against Indiana in January 4th. So that'll be interesting. A little scared about that game. Whatever. All right. See you guys then.